Francis Fukuyama, Political Order and Political Decay, From the Industrial Revolution to the Globalization of Democracy. Can democracy survive in today's rapidly changing world? Francis Fukuyama's Political Order and Political Decay gives a sweeping view of the historical and political context of democracy, covering its utopian beginnings, the rise of the middle class, and the impact of technological advancements. It dives into the issue of wealth disparity, the growing influence of lobbying on government decisions, and the corrupting effect of repatrimonialization. The summary also shares the cautionary tale of the U.S. Forest Service, which illustrates how institutions can get caught in a downward spiral of dysfunction. As you delve into this book's summary, explore the key themes and challenges that face modern democracy and the importance of adaptation in overcoming those obstacles.
Democracy Unwrapped. The concept of democracy is the central theme of this book. Democracy is a government for the people, by the people. The U.S. Constitution brought together democratic ideals of equality and fair representation in a radical way. Unfortunately, the values of the Constitution were ignored for much of the country's early history. However, things began to change toward the end of the 19th century. By the mid-20th century, the American federal government had become an independent, effective, and value-driven political actor. But as democracy spread, it encountered its fair share of challenges along the way, and this is even true of democracy in the United States. The bedrock of democracy. Since ancient times, philosophers have recognized the importance of the middle class to healthy states and democracies. However, defining the middle class can be difficult. In political science, it refers to a measurement of social and educational standing. Studies show that a large middle class is linked to better rates of economic growth, education, health, civil stability, and the spread of democracy. Middle-class values of self-discipline, a strong work ethic, and long-term saving and investment contribute to a healthy democracy. Denmark, France, Sweden, Germany, Britain, and many other nations have their middle classes to thank for their transitions to democracy. The middle class is the bedrock of democracy in the Western world. Middle class squeeze. The middle class in America is under serious threat. Since the 70s, the trend of declining middle class incomes has been hidden, and it's only getting worse. Women entering the workforce did not improve the situation, it simply disguised the fact that paychecks were getting smaller. The use of credit as a substitute for income redistribution was detrimental, and technology has played a big role in the decline of the middle class by eliminating low-skilled but well-paid jobs. On the flip side, there are new and higher-paying jobs for skilled workers, which are contributing to the ever-widening income inequality gap between the rich and the rest of society. The middle class is being squeezed like never before. The rise of repatrimonialization in American politics. Repatrimonialization refers to the way that wealthy and powerful individuals dominate democratic institutions in pursuit of their own interests, often at the expense of the wider population. One way this manifests in American politics is through lobbying, which has become a massive industry worth billions of dollars. Lobbying groups work to influence policy in areas like taxation, often securing special exemptions and benefits for corporations, which has contributed to a sense of unrepresentativeness and voicelessness amongst the wider public. The influence of groups like the National Rifle Association in pursuit of their goals represents a further example of this phenomenon. The result is a crisis of representation, with the democratic process undermined and American society subject to the interests of a select few. The rise and fall of the U.S. Forest Service. Founded in 1905, the U.S. Forest Service, USFS, was a model of merit-based staffing that embodied American democratic ideals. But over time, the USFS struggled to balance conflicting demands of containing forest fires and sustainable use of American forests. Pressure from interest groups steered the agency off course, and the original mission was lost. The USFS became increasingly bureaucratic, as conflicting groups exerted influence to serve their respective interests. Bureaucrats prioritized boosting budgets and catering to these groups, rather than fulfilling the USFS's mission of protecting forests. This slide into dysfunction is a prime example of what pervades government agencies across the United States. The strength and limitations of institutions. Institutions are crucial for human society to function, providing stability and facilitating cooperation through stable patterns of behavior. However, institutions can also hamper progress if they fail to adapt to changing circumstances. Institutional immunity to change is often a strength, but too much rigidity can prevent necessary evolution. The inability of institutions to adapt effectively can lead to democratic decay, as new social groups challenge the status quo. While political decay can pave the way for political development, outdated institutions that hinder change will never make room for necessary innovation. These challenges are prevalent in American politics today, and understanding the complexities of power struggles is crucial not only in the US but worldwide.
Despite the incredible growth and spread of democracy in the past several decades, it remains vulnerable to erosion and decline. The impact of wealth inequality and repatrimonialization on democratic values has led to discontent among citizens, and a growing mistrust in the political process. Simultaneously, the inability of long-standing institutions to adapt to a changing world further exacerbates the problems faced by modern democracy. Fukuyama's Political Order and Political Decay underscores the need for continued discussion and understanding of the complexities and power struggles in politics. To ensure the survival of democracy and its ideals, it's crucial to acknowledge and address the challenges that threaten its stability and, in doing so, work towards fostering a healthier and more inclusive political climate.